Hi everybody, today I'm here to talk about two films at the same time. Lon Chaney's movie, The Unholy 3. We got two versions here. And the first one I'm going to talk about is a silent version. Of course, Lon Chaney was a silent star. He had the son, Lon Chaney Jr., who's known for a lot of Universal monster movies, but Chaney Sr. was the man of a thousand faces. And this is a movie, this from the silent era, 1925, the first time around, called The Unholy 3. While this one here, 5 years later in 1930, was Lon Chaney's only talking film, and his last film, a remake of Unholy 3. Let's talk first about the silent movie, directed by the great Todd Browning, who did Dracula with Bela Lugosi, so many other movies, London After Midnight, and also there was another movie with Chaney that was done called The Unknown with Todd Browning. Very good director in this movie here. I always thought in the Lugosi Dracula, he was a little dull, it was an early talkie for him. But this silent one, The Unholy 3, is very well directed by Browning. And it stars Chaney as a kind of crooked ventriloquist. And he teams up with a midget played by Harry Earls, who you may know from Todd Browning's Freaks, another great movie by Browning. And he also teams up with a strong man played by Victor McLaglen in this particular movie. Now, they're going on a series of robberies and committing robberies, and ultimately, through a lot of wildly entertaining stuff, you wind up getting them in a courtroom sequence. Now, both of these versions are very, very much worth seeing, but there's some differences. Okay, beginning, of course, that this one is silent. I actually found the Todd Browning version more stylish, better crafted, possibly with even better production values. Mae Bush stars in this movie. However, I prefer the actress from the sound film more in this part than Mae Bush, which I'll get to later. Mae Bush plays Rosie O'Grady. I would say that while this is very entertaining, well worth seeing and engaging, I find it to be a little too long. That's kind of its downfall. Otherwise, it would have been perfect if not for that. So, when we move on 5 years later to the talking version, sound version of The Unholy 3, this one directed by Jack Conway, again stars Lon Chaney in his only speaking role. And after looking at Lon Chaney for so many silent movies and his kind of gruff exterior, his voice sounds pretty much like I would expect it to sound when you hear this. Hear his voice in this. Unfortunately, one of the big downfalls in this movie is, since it's an early talkie, it's very hard to understand the dialogue spoken by Harry Earls as the midget and Ivan Linow this time, different actor who plays Hercules the strongman. Did I mention that in these movies, which I probably didn't because I'm rushing here, you had Chaney dressing up as an old woman. It's a very important plot detail. I can't miss it. He dresses up as an old woman. Harry Earls, the midget, dresses up as a baby. And then, of course, you just have the strongman. And that's when they go about their routines of trying to do these elaborate crimes. I think it sounds so familiar to stuff like The Little Rascals. There was an episode called Free Eats that kind of has that. It's kind of a little person, adult, but dressed up as a baby and so on. I think they kind of borrowed a little from this, possibly. Although, which came first? I'm pretty sure this came first. But again, Jack Conway does a good job here. Arguably not as good as Todd Browning's mastercraft in this. I still think the edge of the silent one is in its direction and in the values and maybe better angles and just a better crafted film. This one, though, has a better courtroom sequence and it moves more briskly. You see, so this is noteworthy for Chaney's last film, Chaney's dialogue. I much prefer Lila Lee as Rosie O'Grady here compared to Mae Bush in The Silent. And, You have pros and cons to both of these, but both of these come very, very close to being perfect films. So, my advice for real serious movie people is to see both of these because they each have their merits. And again, very close. I'm going to give both of these movies now 3.5 stars out of 4. That's how much I like them. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not, because I could use all the subscribers right now that I can get to hit 2,000. Much appreciated.